Get out, the therapist stumbled backward as the lamp shattered against the wall. Isabel Pierce stood in the corner, small fists clenched, eyes blazing with rage. She was 7 years old. Mrs. Pierce, I can't help someone who won't speak. Dr. Morrison grabbed her briefcase and headed for the door. That's the 5th therapist this month. Elena Pierce stood frozen in the hallway. Her daughter hadn't spoken a single word in 6 months, not since the funeral. Please, Dr. Morrison. Just try one more session. Your money can't fix everything, Mrs. Pierce. The therapist walked past her. Some children are beyond reach. The door slammed shut. Elena heard sobbing from inside the playroom. She reached for the handle, then stopped. Every time she tried to comfort Isabel, her daughter screamed louder. Elena walked to her home office and collapsed into her chair. She pulled up the security feeds. 17 cameras covered every corner of her penthouse. She watched Isabel curl into a ball on the floor, crying silently now. Her phone buzzed. 23 missed calls. The board meeting started in an hour. Elena grabbed her coat and left. Jordan Blackwell pushed his cleaning cart down the empty hallway. It was 9 p.m. at Pierce Industries headquarters. Most people had gone home. He liked the quiet. He'd worked this shift for 8 months now. Nobody noticed janitors. That's exactly what he wanted. Hey, Jordan. A security guard waved from his desk. Heard the boss lady's kid is losing it again. Another nanny quit today. Jordan nodded and kept moving. He'd learned not to engage. The less people knew about him, the better. He reached the executive floor and started emptying trash bins. Through the glass walls, he could see Elena Pierce on a video call. Her face looked exhausted. Jordan remembered that look. He'd worn it himself once. His hand went to his pocket, touching the worn photo he kept there. A boy with missing front teeth, grinning at the camera. Jordan shook his head and kept working. That life was over. He was nobody now, just a man with a mop. The elevator dinged. Elena stepped out, phone pressed to her ear. I don't care what it costs. Find me someone who can reach her. She walked past Jordan without looking at him. Try Europe, try anywhere. Jordan watched her disappear into her office. He'd heard the rumors. The CEO daughter hadn't spoken since her father died. No therapist could help. No nanny lasted more than a week. He finished his route and headed home to his 1-bedroom apartment. Tomorrow would be the same as today. That's what he thought anyway. The next evening, Jordan arrived at Pierce Industries at his usual time, but tonight was different. Elena Pierce is bringing her daughter to the office, the security guard said. Nanny number 12 quit this afternoon. Boss lady's got meetings she can't miss. Jordan nodded and started his rounds. He saw them on the 52nd floor. Elena sat in a conference room with 6 executives. Outside the glass walls, a small girl sat alone on a bench. Isabel wore a blue dress and held a stuffed rabbit. She stared at the floor, completely still. Jordan emptied the trash bin nearby. None of the executives noticed him. Elena glanced at her daughter every few seconds, worry creasing her face. The meeting dragged on. Isabel didn't move, didn't play, didn't do anything. After an hour, Jordan saw the girl's shoulders start to shake. She was crying, silent tears running down her cheeks. Elena saw it too. She excused herself and rushed outside. Isabel, sweetie, just 10 more minutes, please. The girl turned away from her mother. Elena's phone rang. She looked at the screen, then at her daughter, then back at the screen. I have to take this. Please just stay here. She walked down the hallway, speaking urgently into her phone. Jordan moved his cart closer. The girl was sobbing now, trying to hide her face. He stopped. This wasn't his business. He should keep working. But that sound, those quiet, hopeless sobs, he'd made that same sound once. Jordan reached into his cart and pulled out a small teddy bear. He'd made it himself last week from spare fabric. It was something he did in his apartment at night, something to keep his hands busy. He walked over and placed it gently on the bench next to Isabel. Sometimes bears are better listeners than people, he said softly. Then he walked away. Isabel looked up. She stared at the bear, then at the janitor's back as he disappeared around the corner. She picked up the bear. It was simple, handmade, slightly lopsided. She held it to her chest. Elena returned to find Isabel holding a teddy bear. Where did you get that? Isabel didn't answer, but she clutched the bear tighter. For the first time in months, Elena saw something other than rage or emptiness in her daughter's eyes. Isabel looked almost calm. Did someone give that to you? Isabel nodded. Elena's heart raced. Who? Show me. Isabel pointed down the hallway. Empty now. Elena pulled out her phone and called security. Pull the footage from the 52nd floor, last 15 minutes. Send it to my office immediately. 20 minutes later, Elena watched the security video. She saw the janitor approach, saw him place the bear on the bench, saw him speak briefly and walk away. She'd passed that man 100 times and never really seen him. Elena made another call. I need a background check. Every employee on the night cleaning crew. The results came back in 2 hours. Most of the crew had standard histories, minor infractions, clean records, but one file made her pause. Jordan Blackwell, age 37. No criminal record. Previously worked as a grief counselor at Mountain View Children's Hospital for 12 years. Elena kept reading. Her hands started shaking. 5 years ago, Jordan's 6-year-old son, Ethan, had died in a car accident. Jordan was driving. A drunk driver ran a red light. Jordan survived. Ethan didn't. Jordan quit his job 6 months after the funeral, disappeared from public records, resurfaced 8 months ago working as a janitor. Elena stared at the photo on file. Tired eyes, blank expression, a man trying to be invisible. She looked at her daughter sleeping in the next room. Isabel had refused to let go of the teddy bear. Elena made a decision. Jordan was mopping the lobby when Elena approached him the next evening. Mr. Blackwell, I need to speak with you. Jordan looked up, surprised. Yes, ma'am. My office now. He followed her to the executive floor. His heart pounded. Somehow she knew about his past. Elena closed the door behind them. I saw what you did for my daughter. It was just a teddy bear, ma'am. It was more than that. Elena pulled up the security footage. Isabel hasn't responded to anyone in 6 months. 23 therapists. 9 nannies. Hundreds of thousands of dollars. Nothing worked. Jordan said nothing. I looked into your background. Elena's voice softened. I know about your son. Jordan's jaw tightened. Then you know I'm the last person who should be around children. I know you understand grief, real grief, not textbook grief. Mrs. Pierce, I can't help you. My daughter held that bear all night. This morning she drew a picture, the first thing she's created since her father died. Elena showed him her phone, a child's drawing of a small bear. Jordan looked away. I'm not asking you to replace her father. I'm asking you to spend time with her, an hour a day, just be there. I'm a janitor, not a therapist. You were a grief counselor for 12 years. You helped hundreds of children. That was before, Jordan's voice cracked. I couldn't even help my own son. Ethan's death wasn't your fault. Jordan stood up. With respect, ma'am, you don't know anything about it. You're right, but I know my daughter is disappearing, and you're the only person who reached her. Elena's voice broke. Please name your price. This isn't about money. Then what is it about? Jordan was quiet for a long moment. I can't fail another child. You didn't fail Ethan. Tell that to my wife. She left 6 months after the funeral, said she couldn't look at me anymore. Jordan moved toward the door. I'm sorry about your daughter, I really am, but I can't be what you need. He left. Elena sat alone in her office. She looked at her daughter's drawing again, then she made another call. 2 days later, Jordan found Isabel sitting in the building lobby. It was 10 p.m. Elena was in an emergency board meeting on the 20th floor. The new nanny stood nearby, scrolling her phone. Isabel sat on the floor, holding the teddy bear, rocking back and forth. Jordan approached the nanny. Everything okay? The nanny jumped. Who are you? Building maintenance. Is the girl all right? She's fine. Weird, but fine. The nanny went back to her phone. Jordan knelt down near Isabel, not too close. He'd learned with grieving children that space mattered. Hey there, remember me? Isabel looked up. Her eyes widened slightly. She nodded. That bear treating you okay? Another nod. Good, he's a good bear, a little wonky, but good. Jordan sat down on the floor, his back against the wall. You know what I like about bears? They don't talk much, they just listen. Isabel hugged the bear tighter. When I was sad, I used to talk to bears too. Well, one bear, my son's bear. Jordan pulled out his phone and showed her a photo, a little boy holding a large stuffed bear. That's Ethan. He loved that bear more than anything. Isabel stared at the photo. Ethan's not here anymore. He died a few years ago. Car accident. Jordan's voice stayed steady. For a long time I was angry at everyone, at everything, mostly at myself. Isabel's rocking slowed. People kept telling me it would get better. That time heals all wounds. That God has a plan. Jordan shook his head. Those words didn't help. They made it worse. Isabel looked at him directly for the first time. You know what did help? Someone who just sat with me, didn't try to fix it, didn't tell me how to feel, just sat there. Jordan met her eyes. Grief is lonely, but it's less lonely when someone else understands. Isabel's mouth opened. Jordan held his breath. Then she closed it again, but she scooted an inch closer. They sat in silence for several minutes. The nanny never looked up from her phone. Finally, Jordan stood. I have to get back to work, but it was nice sitting with you. He started to walk away. Thank you. The voice was so quiet he almost missed it. Jordan turned around. Isabel was looking at him. She'd spoken. The elevator dinged. Elena stepped out, saw Jordan standing near her daughter and ran over. What's going on? Is she okay? She's okay, Jordan said. She just said thank you. Elena stared at her daughter. Isabel, you spoke. Isabel looked at the floor again, silent once more, but Elena saw something different in her daughter's posture, something softer. She looked at Jordan. Please don't say no again. Jordan started the next day, not as a janitor, as Isabel's companion. Elena set up a small room on the executive floor, comfortable chairs, books, art supplies, a window overlooking the city. 1 hour a day, Elena said. That's all I'm asking. Jordan agreed to a trial period, 2 weeks. The first session was quiet. Jordan brought a box of old toys from his apartment, things that had belonged to Ethan. I thought maybe you'd want to play with these. They're just collecting dust at my place. Isabel examined each toy carefully. A wooden train, building blocks, a small stuffed dog. She didn't speak, but she played. Jordan sat nearby and sketched in a notebook. He'd been drawing again. Another thing he'd stopped after Ethan died. I'm drawing the bear I made you, he said, trying to figure out why he turned out so lopsided. Isabel almost smiled. Almost. The second session, Jordan brought paper and crayons. Want to draw with me? They drew in silence. Jordan sketched simple things, a tree, a house, a bird. Isabel drew dark scribbles at first, angry black marks across the page. Jordan didn't comment, didn't try to interpret, just kept drawing. By the third session, Isabel's drawings had shapes. A person, a house, a bear. That's a good bear, Jordan said. Isabel nodded. By the end of the first week, Isabel started staying closer to Jordan, following him with her eyes when he moved around the room. Do you want to hear a story? Jordan asked on day 8. Isabel nodded. Once there was a boy who loved trains. He had a whole collection. Every birthday, every holiday, more trains. Jordan picked up Ethan's wooden train. He'd spend hours making tracks all over the house. His dad would pretend to be a passenger. Isabel listened intently. One day the boy went away. He couldn't take the trains with him, so his dad kept them safe. And sometimes, when the dad missed the boy, he'd hold the trains and remember the good times. Jordan set down the train. The dad was sad for a long time, but the trains reminded him that love doesn't go away just because someone does. Isabel picked up the train. She rolled it back and forth gently. Then she spoke. My daddy's gone too. Jordan's heart stopped. I know, I'm sorry. Everyone says he's in heaven, but I don't know where that is. Me neither, Jordan said honestly. Are you sad your boy is gone? Every day. Me too. Isabel's eyes filled with tears. I miss my daddy every day. That's okay. Missing people means we loved them. Isabel crawled into Jordan's lap and cried, not angry tears, sad ones. Jordan held her and let her cry. Elena watched from the security feed in her office. Tears streamed down her face. By the third week, Isabel was speaking regularly, only to Jordan at first, then to her mother. She still had hard days, days where the grief swallowed her whole, but Jordan was always there. It's okay to be sad, he'd say. Sadness means you loved him. Elena saw her daughter slowly coming back to life, small smiles, a giggle here and there, interest in books and games again. Then the media found out. Billionaire CEO hires janitor as daughter's nanny. The headline went viral. Worse headlines followed. Elena Pierce's desperation, unqualified staff watching her child. Pierce Industries CEO under fire for unconventional childcare. The board called an emergency meeting. This looks terrible, Elena. The chairman slammed a newspaper on the table. A janitor, what were you thinking? I was thinking about my daughter's well-being. He has no credentials, no licenses. What if something happens? Jordan Blackwell was a licensed grief counselor for 12 years. He's helped more children than any therapist we hired. Was being the key word. He quit. And do you know why? His own son died on his watch. Elena stood up. Ethan died because a drunk driver ran a red light. Jordan was a victim. The optics are terrible. Shareholders are nervous. Clients are asking questions. Then let them ask. Elena's voice turned to steel. My daughter spoke for the first time in 6 months. She's eating again, sleeping again, laughing again. That's not negotiable. Elena, be reasonable. I am being reasonable. Jordan stays. Unless you'd like to vote me out as CEO, in which case, go ahead, try. Nobody moved. Elena walked out of the meeting. But the damage was done. News trucks parked outside her building. Reporters shouted questions every time she left. Jordan saw the coverage and came to Elena's office. I should quit. This is hurting you. Absolutely not. Isabel is doing better. You can find someone else now. Isabel needs you. I need you. Elena's voice softened. Please don't go. Jordan hesitated. The media won't stop. Let me worry about the media. You worry about Isabel. That afternoon, Elena held a press conference. Jordan begged her not to, but she insisted. I'm here to address the recent coverage about my daughter's care. Yes, I hired Jordan Blackwell. Yes, he currently works maintenance at my company. And yes, he's the best thing that's happened to my daughter since her father died. Cameras flashed. Reporters shouted questions. Elena raised her hand. Jordan lost his son 5 years ago. He understands grief in a way no textbook can teach. He's given my daughter something no credential or degree could provide. He's given her hope. Mrs. Pierce, aren't you worried about liability? I'm worried about my daughter, and right now she's healing. That's all that matters. What do you say to critics who call this irresponsible? I'd say they've never watched their child disappear into grief. They've never felt that helplessness. Jordan has, and that makes him exactly who we need. The press conference ended. The headlines shifted. Elena Pierce defends unconventional choice. CEO puts daughter before public opinion. Some praised her, others criticized. Elena didn't care. Isabel was smiling again. That was enough. 3 months into Jordan's time with Isabel, things seemed stable. Then Isabel's 8th birthday arrived. The first one without her father. Elena planned a small party, just family and a few close friends. She asked Jordan to be there. Are you sure I'm not family? You're more family than most of our relatives, Elena said. The party started well. Isabel opened presents and ate cake. She smiled and thanked everyone, but Jordan saw the cracks. The way her smile didn't reach her eyes. The way she kept glancing at the door, waiting for someone who'd never walk through it. After the guests left, Isabel disappeared. Elena searched the penthouse. Isabel, sweetie, where are you? No answer. Jordan checked the bedrooms, the playroom, the balcony, nothing. Elena's face went pale. Oh God, the security footage. They ran to her office. Elena pulled up the cameras. There, Isabel sneaking into the private elevator 40 minutes ago. Where does that elevator go? Jordan asked. My late husband's office. It's been locked since he died. I couldn't bear to clean it out. They rushed downstairs. The office was on the 10th floor, a separate wing that Elena had closed off. The door was unlocked. Inside, Isabel sat in her father's chair. She'd pulled out photo albums and scattered pictures across the desk. Isabel? Elena rushed forward. Go away, Isabel screamed. The rage was back. This is Daddy's office, not yours. Elena froze. Jordan stepped forward slowly. Isabel, can I come in? No, everyone go away. Okay, I'll stay right here by the door. But I'm not leaving you alone. Isabel threw a picture frame. It shattered against the wall. I want my daddy. I know you do. He's never coming back. Never, Isabel sobbed. Why did he leave me? He didn't want to leave you. Death isn't a choice. I hate him. I hate that he died. Isabel collapsed onto the floor. I hate everything. Jordan sat down in the doorway. When Ethan died, I hated everything too. I hated the drunk driver, the doctors, God, myself, especially myself. Isabel looked at him through her tears. And sometimes I hated Ethan for leaving me, for dying when I survived. I know that sounds terrible, but it's true. You hated your son? Not really. I loved him more than anything. But grief makes us feel mixed up things. Jordan's voice was gentle. Being angry at your dad doesn't mean you don't love him. I love him so much it hurts. That's how love works sometimes. It hurts because it mattered. Isabel crawled across the floor to Jordan. He opened his arms and she crashed into him. I don't want to forget him, she whispered. You won't, I promise. How do you know? Because I haven't forgotten Ethan, not one thing. His laugh, his favorite songs, the way he'd fall asleep holding his bear. Jordan smiled through his own tears. Love is stronger than death, Isabel. Your dad will always be part of you. Isabel cried in Jordan's arms for a long time. Elena sat nearby, crying too. Finally, Isabel pulled back. Can I keep one picture? From Daddy's desk. You can keep as many as you want, Elena said. Isabel chose a photo of her father holding her as a baby. He looks happy here. He was happy. You made him so happy. Elena hugged her daughter. Jordan stood up to give them privacy. Don't go, Isabel said. Please stay. He stayed. The three of them sat in that office until dawn, looking at pictures, telling stories, crying and laughing, healing together. 6 months after Isabel's birthday, Elena made an announcement. She was launching a new foundation, Ethan's Light, a grief support organization for children and families, and Jordan would run it. I can't run a foundation, Jordan protested. I'm not qualified. You're the most qualified person I know. Elena handed him the proposal. You'll hire counselors, train them, create programs, everything you wish had existed for you and Ethan. Jordan read through the documents, grief camps for kids, support groups for parents who lost children, training for teachers and therapists, all funded by Elena, named after Ethan. Why Ethan's Light? Because Ethan's story led you to Isabel, and you brought light back into her life. Now you can bring that light to other families. Elena smiled. It's time to stop hiding, Jordan. Your son's death doesn't define you, but how you help others can. Jordan looked at Isabel, who'd been sitting quietly nearby. Do you think this is a good idea? Isabel nodded. Other kids need you too. Like I needed you. But what about our time together? I'll still see you. You're not going anywhere. Isabel grinned. Right, Jordan laughed. Right, I'm not going anywhere. He accepted Elena's offer. Ethan's Light launched 3 months later. The press coverage was overwhelming, but this time it was positive. Former janitor turned grief counselor launches revolutionary program. Jordan Blackwell's second act, turning tragedy into hope. Jordan hired a team of counselors. He trained them using everything he'd learned, both from his years at the hospital and from his own grief. Don't try to fix it, he told them. Just sit with it. Let the kids be angry. Let them be sad. Let them feel whatever they feel. The first grief camp had 20 children. Kids who'd lost parents, siblings, friends. Jordan watched them arrive, angry, scared, closed off. He saw himself in every single one of them. By the end of the week, those same kids were laughing, playing, opening up. Still grieving, still hurting, but not alone anymore. One boy approached Jordan on the last day. Will the sadness ever go away? Jordan knelt down. The sadness gets quieter, but it doesn't disappear, and that's okay. It means you loved someone worth missing. The boy hugged him. Thank you for understanding. Jordan hugged him back. Thank you for being brave enough to come here. That night, Jordan called Elena. I think we're doing something good here. I know you are. Isabel told me about the kids you're helping. She's so proud of you. How is she? She's good, really good. She started talking about her father without crying today, told her whole class a happy memory about him. Elena's voice cracked. I didn't think we'd ever get here. She's a strong kid. She had a good teacher, Jordan smiled. We taught each other. 2 years after Jordan gave Isabel that first teddy bear, Elena invited him to dinner, not at a restaurant, at her penthouse. Just the three of them. Isabel had cooked, well, attempted to cook. The pasta was overdone and the sauce was lumpy. It's perfect, Jordan said, taking a bite. You're a terrible liar. Isabel laughed. But thank you for trying. They ate together at the table. Elena told a story about a disastrous board meeting. Isabel talked about her day at school. Jordan just listened, soaking it in. This was what healing looked like. After dinner, Isabel brought out a wrapped box. This is for you. Jordan opened it. Inside was a handmade teddy bear, much better quality than the one he'd given her. I made it in art class to say thank you. Isabel smiled. For the first bear, for everything. Jordan held the bear carefully. This is amazing, Isabel. I figured you needed one too. For the hard days. Smart thinking. Jordan set the bear down and pulled Isabel into a hug. Thank you. Elena cleared her throat. I have something too. She handed Jordan an envelope. Inside was a check and a letter. What's this? The foundation is expanding. We're opening 5 new locations next year. We need a national director. Elena smiled. We need you. Jordan stared at the number on the check. This is too much. It's exactly right. You've changed hundreds of lives, Jordan, including ours. This is just the beginning. Jordan looked at Isabel. What do you think? Should I take it? Definitely, but only if you promise to still have dinner with us. Every week, Jordan agreed. Elena raised her glass. To new beginnings. To healing, Jordan added. To family, Isabel said. They clinked glasses. Later that night, Jordan returned to his apartment, but it wasn't the same sad, empty place he'd hidden in 2 years ago. Now it was filled with photos, pictures of Isabel at various stages of healing. Pictures from the grief camps, thank you cards from families, and in the center of it all, a photo of Ethan, still smiling, still loved. Jordan picked up the new bear Isabel made him. We did good, buddy, he whispered to his son's photo. I think we really did good. For the first time in 5 years, Jordan felt something he thought he'd lost forever. Peace. Epilogue. 3 years later, the auditorium was packed. 300 people gathered for the annual Ethan's Light Gala. Jordan stood backstage, adjusting his tie. He hated these formal events, but Elena insisted. You're the face of this foundation. People need to see you. Isabel, now 12 years old, peeked through the curtain. There's so many people out there. Nervous? Jordan asked. A little, are you? Terrified. They grinned at each other. Elena joined them. Ready? Jordan and Isabel nodded. They walked onto the stage together. The crowd applauded. Elena spoke first. 5 years ago, I was drowning. You are writing a script for a YouTube drama video narrator to read aloud. Target. 20-30 minute read aloud time equals 5,000-6,000 words, maximum critical constraints. Third person, narrative only, narrator telling the story, 2-3 main characters, maximum protagonist, antagonist. 1 support character, 6-8 scenes total, 0 internal monologue, no he thought, or she felt, 0 poetic descriptions, no metaphors about glass or light or lemon cleaner. Every sentence must contain action or dialogue that moves plot forward. Opening, first 30 seconds. Start with the most dramatic moment. First line must be dialogue or a shocking action example. The coffee cup shattered at his feet. You're fired, she said. No scene setting, no backstory, no descriptions of buildings / weather structure. Scene 1, hook, dramatic moment. Scene 2-3, quick setup. Who, what, why we care. Scene 4-5, conflict escalates. Scene 6, turning point / twist. Scene 7-8, resolution with emotional payoff. Writing rules, sentences, 10-15 words average, short and punchy dialogue. Use it heavily. Shows character better than descriptions, only if needed to understand the action emotions. Show through what people do, not how they feel. No repetitive phrases. Don't say same thing 5+ times. No subplots. 1 main story only. No corporate dynamics, meetings, or workplace politics. Pacing test. After every paragraph ask, Does this sentence advance the plot? If no, write arrow delete it tone. Write like you're telling a dramatic story to a friend at a bar, conversational but engaging, simple vocabulary. 8th grade reading level, build tension through what happens, not how it's described. What makes this work? Clear visual moments, coffee spilled, child running up, painting changed, dialogue that reveals character instantly. One clear emotional transformation, unexpected kindness that changes everything. Simple theme stated once, shown throughout a void. He realized. She understood. It dawned on him. Equals internal monologue, the building gleamed like. Equals poetic metaphor, multiple staff members with names and subplots, detailed descriptions of objects, rooms, clothes repeating the same theme / phrase more than twice, corporate / workplace drama that slows the story, abstract concepts, quiet pockets, islands of control, etc. Critical style example, good example, target style. She dropped her coffee cup. Without a word, he bent down and cleaned it up. Accidents happen, he said softly. She stared at him. No one had ever spoken to her that way. Bad example, what to avoid. Alexandra's coffee cup slipped from her fingers, the ceramic shattering against marble like a small explosion. Illy's cart hummed as he guided it toward the spreading pool of dark liquid. He breathed in the scent of Ethiopian roast mixed with lemon cleaner. He liked when chaos turned to order. Accidents happen, he murmured, voice carrying the weight of a man who'd learned patience the hard way. See the difference? Good equals 30 words, pure action / dialogue, story moves forward. Bad equals 70 words, half is unnecessary detail, slows everything down. Your script should read like the good example throughout. Read aloud check. Your final script should take 20-30 minutes to read aloud at normal pace. If it takes longer, write arrow cut entire scenes, not just details within scenes. Now write a complete story for this title. This is a summary of story. The story centers on 3 individuals connected by grief. Jordan Blackwell, a janitor hiding from his past after the tragic death of his son, Ethan. Isabel Pierce, a young girl who has become silent and withdrawn since her father's death. And her mother, Elena Pierce, a powerful CEO who is helpless to ease her daughter's pain. After numerous therapists and nannies fail to connect with Isabel, Jordan, the invisible janitor, performs a small act of kindness by leaving a handmade teddy bear for the sobbing girl. This simple, empathetic gesture breaks through Isabel's wall of silence. Elena witnesses this on security footage and, after investigating Jordan's tragic past, hires him to be a companion for her daughter. Through quiet understanding and simple stories, Jordan helps Isabel process her grief by sharing his own. Their unconventional relationship sparks a public scandal, but Elena fiercely defends Jordan, championing compassion over credentials. The story climaxes when Isabel runs away to her late father's abandoned office, and Jordan is the only one who can find and comfort her. This event solidifies their bond and leads Elena to create Ethan's Light, a grief support foundation led by Jordan, named in honor of his son. Ultimately, Jordan finds a new purpose. Isabel heals and learns to smile again, and the 3 of them form a new, unconventional family built on shared loss, healing, and love. Remember, you're writing for a narrator to read, for viewers scrolling on phones. Every word must earn its place. Aim for the storytelling style of a movie trailer script, not a novel chapter. Match the pacing and efficiency of the good example above.